We all start our practice as beginners, whatever it is that we're doing. In the world of witchcraft, we all start off as baby witches, no matter what your age is. We're eager to learn, excited about what we're discovering, and sometimes stumbling right into faux pas and mispronouncing things. We all do it. We're not exactly sure where the line between authentic witchcraft and fantasy magic is sometimes, and definitely struggling to differentiate between all of the voices competing, saying, this is the way that real witches do it. Today, I'm going to share with you my own personal tips for somebody just getting started with traditional folkloric witchcraft. Traditional and or folkloric witchcraft. The kind of craft that I do. And as a special bonus, I'll give you a little peek at baby witch Laurelei from all those years ago. It was seriously like a long time ago. Welcome to the cottage here at Blade and Broom. I'm Laurelei Black, your favorite witchy aunt, always ready to chat about traditional and folkloric witchcraft and other kinds of witchcraft and magic and esoterica and occultism and stuff. If you're new here, please subscribe and click the bell for notifications. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much. Any resources that get mentioned today are going to be in the description box down below, along with a link tree that has some links if you want to help support the channel in any number of ways, including my Etsy shop, the Patreon page, the Red Thread Academy of Traditional Witchcraft, and Evoke Publication. Thank you so much for your support of this witchy content extravaganza. Tip number 1, read books. Some of you are thinking, oh my goose, Laurelei, I already read so much. That's fantastic. Tradcrafters are giant book nerds. Get comfortable with it. It's how we dig into the grimoire traditions, the pre-modern trial records, and the folklore that forms the basis of our actual witchcraft practice. It's how we gain at least outer court access to the witchcraft traditions that don't exist in our local area. I have a video regarding book recommendations if you're interested in a reading list that I can suggest. We've been really lucky to have authors like Shawnee Oates, Gemma Gary, Keldon, Nigel Jackson, Robin Artisan, Peter Patton, Laura Tempest-Zaycroft, Via Hedera, Corey Hutchison, sharing their research, their wisdom, and their practice within traditional and folkloric forms of witchcraft. They've shared with us in writing mysteries and practices that we can build our own practice around. And one thing you're going to notice when you read broadly is they are not all the same. Not by a long shot. There is not one version of traditional witchcraft, like not a single unified version of traditional witchcraft. It doesn't look all the same when you compare traditional craft practices from different places in England, much less if you start to broaden the scope of your picture and look at traditional and folkloric craft practices from the rest of Europe or into the Americas. So read and get some ideas about what it actually does look like, what it has looked like, and what it can look like. Tip number 2, commit to a practice. Get your hands into your witchcraft. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. that witchcraft is a craft. It is a practice. It is not a thought process or just a philosophy. Yes, there are mysteries and esoteric truths to be explored, but don't fall into the trap of sitting on your couch or laying in your bed and just thinking about witchcraft. I call that witch philosophy, not witchcraft. So what kinds of things actually count as doing witchcraft, as the practice of witchcraft? How much time do we have to share that list? Divination, candle magic, lamp magic, talisman crafting, ladder workings, witch flight, or hedge crossing if you prefer that term, spirit contact, energy healing, herbal blending, and so much more. You can do these things as part of a lunar calendar, or part of a solar year wheel, or part of a festival calendar that you create based on the traditions and folklore of your local area. That's entirely up to you. This comes as a shock for a lot of people, but there are... Christ, that's loud. I'll just wait. For the planes. That's your UPS Amazon order coming to you, by the way. There are traditional festival calendars that look radically different than the kind of standardized 8 Sabbats of neo-paganism. You don't have to stick to those 8 Sabbats, especially if they feel wonky to you in some way. The important thing is that you do the witchy things. Do all the things. Tip number 3, don't limit yourself to just one aspect of the craft. I actually plan on doing a whole video about this soon, but it's worth saying here. There's kind of a trend lately to call oneself a tarot witch, or a cosmic witch, or an herb witch. But what I hear when folks say things like that is, I read tarot cards and I don't resonate with mainstream religion, but I am not necessarily hearing that they have a witchcraft practice if all that they're doing is reading tarot. I know lots of tarot readers who definitely don't identify as witches. They identify as something else entirely, or as nothing particularly regarding spirituality or esoteric practice. They just identify as tarot readers. You can absolutely be a psychic, an astrologer, a tarot reader, an herbalist without being a witch. If you are a witch, and particularly if you're a traditional witch, you're probably going to need to develop some other aspects to your craft besides just that herbalism, that tarot reading, that astrology. Not that those aren't fantastic things, they definitely are. Keep exploring them, keep doing them, but find ways to integrate them with the witchiness. Spirit work, spell work, and witch flight are kind of the traditional hallmarks of the craft. You don't have to excel at everything, but you should be studying and practicing more than one single thing. Tip number 4, find some community. It doesn't have to be a large community. A couple of supportive witchy friends will do. It doesn't have to be in-person community either. There are some great hubs of witchy folks online. Maybe you join a Facebook group about a particular aspect or tradition of traditional witchcraft that you're interested in or that you identify with. Maybe you follow a couple of specific hashtags on Instagram or Twitter and comment regularly and start building connections with some other folks. For IRL options, you could explore witchy meetups, cups groups, which I've talked about before, the Covenant of Unitarian Universalist Pagans, and festivals, local festivals that are happening in your area, including Pagan Pride Day, which is probably happening in a city near you on an annual basis. I'm not saying you have to join a coven at all. If you like being solitary, you can still maintain your independence, but still have some like-minded folks to share your highs and lows with, to ask questions of, and to provide feedback to when you're the one with wisdom to share. And finally, tip number 5, know and honor your personal ethics. I've done a video about this topic already in some depth, but as a very quick tip, I'll say that trying to conform to the ethics or the ethical standards of another person is a surefire way to set yourself up for failure and disappointment. And not honoring your own true ethical boundaries is a legitimate failure that brings shame and pain to you directly, because you've done something that conflicts with your own sense of right and wrong. It is entirely worth the effort to take the time to poke around at the tender places in your psyche to figure out where your lines are drawn. And now, baby witch Laurelei. I was 21 when I did my first ritual, although I had been reading and exploring and talking with folks since just before my 21st birthday. Man, the airplanes. That rite was a ritual of gestures that I found in a book by Scott Cunningham, and that I later adapted, much later, adapted into an entirely dance-based ritual with a pagan belly dance troupe in Indianapolis that we performed for Pagan Pride Day and a couple of other segments of it for smaller bits. That choreographed dance ritual spanned 5 songs and 13 dancers. My beginnings were in 1996, 1997, which means that it was right there in the sort of Wiccan craze of the 90s. I read everything I could get my hands on, which was mostly Llewellyn titles at the local Borders bookstore, plus the Doreen Valiente classic that somebody loaned me and sparked my interest in traditional craft. I spent way more money than a broke college student should be spending on books that just like aggravated the itch that I had for something deeper and more fulfilling for my witchcraft practice. I made a training program for myself back then that included lore, divination, magical, like metaphysical studies, mentorship with somebody who'd been practicing for much longer than me, because I knew that that was going to be important for me. It'd be about 2 more years before I actually met the woman who would become my mentor, teacher, initiator, high priestess. And about 2 decades before I completed everything on that list. I made my first robe out of black satin, and it looked like a Halloween costume rather than a witch robe. Do not recommend. It does not breathe, and it stains terribly. I knew absolutely nothing about herbs, and I made myself flashcards for learning tarot cards and runes, which is funny because tarot cards are like already kind of flashcards in a way. I didn't know what I didn't know. And that's how we all begin. And it was glorious. All hail the beginner who sees what we do with fresh eyes and an open heart. If you were an experienced witch, tell me about when you were a beginner or a baby witch down in the comments below. What tips do you wish that you'd been given at the time? Or if you are still a beginner, tell me what tips and advice you want pointers on. What can we dive into? If you enjoyed today's video, bless me with the magic of the like button and tell your friends that there's good stuff happening over here at Blade and Broom. And if you'd like to learn more about traditional witchcraft practice, check out the link in the description box down below for a guide on 3 rites that every witch should know, every traditional witch should know. Or if you're interested, you could also cruise over to the link about the Red Thread Academy and check out my online witchcraft school. Fare thee well a while, my loves. I will see you back here next week with more witchy goodness. Bye.